Prime Minister Skerrit takes his budget policies on the road, urging critics to assess his policies on their merits. The Parliamentary Opposition to hold a series of post-budget discussions around the country. And a regional meeting of trade unions pass a resolution concerning public works employees. I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. The details coming up.
And don't waste time, eh? You know we deliver all over Dominica. The customer waiting for their product. All right?
Good afternoon. Delivery from Muslim store. Anybody home?
Whether you rent or you have your own home, the Muslim store is the place to get what you need. We deliver.
There's a place in Portsmouth that's mellow.
The products and services are just mellow.
Located on Harbour Lane in Portsmouth, next to the St. John's School, it's Milo's Bakery.
Milo's Bakery offers a wide variety of tasty patisseries and breads for your satisfaction.
Baked fresh and soft. So come to Milo's for your tasty patisseries.
Open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday to Saturday and from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sundays.
Call 445-4044 today.
If you love that sound, then pour yourself a Glen Hunter Scotch whiskey and enjoy the taste on the rocks or mixed with your favorite beverage. And because Glen Hunter is priced right, you'll be able to double your pleasure long after the people who don't drink Glen Hunter have to go home with empty pockets and empty-handed. Glen Hunter, a revolution in Scotch whiskey. Astor fans, right place, right price. Right price.
Introducing the Ashley collection at Quartz. Quartz has joined with Ashley Furniture, the #1 selling home furnishings brand in America, to bring you the most extraordinary furniture selection at unbeatable prices. It's now easier than ever before to find that perfect furniture piece for your home. And what's more, you can add that special touch with the right accent piece from our range of designer accessories from Ashley. Create the perfect look for your home with the Ashley collection at Quartz. Quartz, bringing value home. Visit the new Ashley Gallery at our Roseau store.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, galvanized and fenced pipe. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
It's a summertime affair.
Summer 2015 is blazing hot, and Marpin 2k4 just made it hotter with special deals on our internet service. Sign in for PingNet between July 27th and September 4th to serve with us and get half off installation and half off your modem. Pay your outstanding balance and get reconnected for free and get half off your first monthly bill. Get even more when you sign up this summer during our PingNet promotion, as Marpin 2k4 will give some lucky customers an extra reason to smile with our giveaways. Come visit us at our Roseau location to get on board our fast and reliable service. It's time to serve.
It's a summertime affair in the atmosphere.
Topping the news, Prime Minister Skerrit has called on critics of his policies, particularly those taxes in the 2015-2016 national budget, to assess them on their merits. Some of these taxes in the budget include a highway maintenance tax and taxes on alcohol, tobacco, and imported lamb and pork.
How can persons, for the sake of cheap political points, criticize $100 a year contribution to the provision and upkeep of our roads? In the United States, on average, you pay $8 per toll. Not $8 for the day, $8 per toll. So if you meet 5 tolls on your way, you pay about $8 US every time you cross it. How can you not support our further taxing alcohol and cigarettes when the evidence is clear that these two evils are responsible for the sickness and early deaths of many?
The Prime Minister defended the tax on imported meat, reiterating it was in the best interest of the local livestock industry.
How can persons criticize levying a tax on imported pork and lamb when we here in Dominica are striving to build and develop our own livestock industry?
And government to intensify its efforts at law revision to be followed by law reform later this year. The Minister for Justice, Immigration and National Security says this move is a logical next step, building on Dominica's full accession to the Caribbean Court of Justice earlier this year.
The last law revision was done in 1990. Since then, many laws have been added to our law books, both in terms of parent laws and amendments. As a consequence, a significant volume of our laws are not readily available, not only to the average citizen, but lawyers alike. To that end, therefore, your government has set up a law commission office to work on a general law revision exercise. This will provide a tidy, accessible regime of laws to all those involved in the administration of justice, as well as the average citizen. I want to report to you here tonight that this office is fully staffed, fully financed, and they're all at work.
Blackmore told a town hall meeting in Maho Thursday night efforts will also be made to modernize the laws and a legal professions bill will be enacted into law. He said attempts would also be made to review the Sexual Offences Act and other relevant legislation to make sure children get maximum protection. Meantime, the United Workers' Party will continue a series of post-budget discussions in various constituencies next week.
The party's town hall meetings began in Wesley on Wednesday night and will continue in other communities. It will also hold a public meeting on the budget in La Plaine on August 20 and Lago Rosso on August 27. Opposition leader Lennox Linton says the move is meant to generate better understanding among the public of what the recently passed national budget offers.
And why the proposals that we have made in the context of this year's budget ought to have been adopted instead. That's essentially where we're going. This year's budget was not really fully ventilated in the Parliament. The Prime Minister, in his own deliberate judgment and action, cut short the debate with 12 of his ministers not having addressed a single aspect of the budget. And so, not necessarily because of that. That underlined the need for us to do it, but you will recall that last year we did have some post-budget conversations with the people of Dominica. Those were more primarily based on our own budget statement that was presented the day before the Prime Minister's last year.
Linton is not in favor with the new taxes introduced since he says the Prime Minister had initially stated there would have been no new taxes.
There are a number of promises that we have heard for year after year after year, and we're hearing them again this year. And the number of failures in the revenue and expenditure performance of government that we need to highlight so that people don't run away with the impression that everything this government says it will do, it is going to do, or it has done.
Linton further justifies the reason for taking his budget response to the public by saying it is the duty of parliamentarians to let people know what is going on and how they fit in the scheme of things.
The government has been falling well short of its capital revenue targets in recent years. Last year alone, it did not find $60 million of the money it intended to spend on projects. And yet, it found a way on 4 items that it had catered for to overspend on those 4 items by $16.6 million. So a lot of things suffered last year. A lot of things could not have been done because of that. Even though you fell $60 million short of what you intended to raise to spend on projects, there were items that you were committed to that you overspent on, namely the National Employment Program, the Public Support Program, aka the Rec Clinic, the housing, and the constituency empowerment vote.
In other news now, a resolution has been passed at a regional gathering of trade unions concerning problems facing Public Works Corporation staff.
Matters of late salaries, job security, and other issues troubling Public Works Corporation employees were discussed at the 45th Annual Conference of the Caribbean Public Services Association in Trinidad recently. General Secretary of the Public Service Union, which represents PwC staff, attended the July 18 to 24 meeting, along with 150 regional trade unionists. Thomas later was re-elected as the General Secretary of the CPSA for the 4th consecutive time.
That is, the resolution is calling on the government and the Public Works Board to get to continue discussion with the union and to review some of the decisions that has been taken which are affecting the employees. So that resolution will be forwarded to the government of Dominica as well as the Public Works Corporation with the recommendations from the Caribbean Public Services Association.
The CPSA is the umbrella body for 17 public service unions.
A total of 12 resolutions were approved at the conference, and we will be meeting in Belize sometime very early next month so that we can review the decisions that were taken at conference and to decide how we move forward. We will be writing to various institutions, including CARICOM, including certain governments. One of the resolutions I remember that very, very clearly has to do with the dispute between Venezuela and Guyana, and the CPSA has placed its full support behind Guyana.
Meantime, Later says the PSU is willing to consult the board of PwC, but he feels a sense of reluctance on their part.
We did indicate to the board that we were interested in meeting with them. We were told that a date will be given, and that was all. They never got back to us. Well, as we have always been saying, we don't think that the board is really interested in meeting with us. No matter what the situation, no matter what the circumstances, the board has an obligation to meet with us when there is a need to do so. I understand that there is a new member of the board, and he thinks that consultation and dialogue is very important. So I'm hoping that this new member will bring some level of sanity to the board, and some common sense will prevail, and they will appreciate that they need to sit and to discuss with the union.
You're watching Channel 5 News. Coming up, the economic benefits of the National Rabbit Festival.
When it pours, you reign.
Beauty Wise on Hanover Street in Roseau carries a wide assortment of wigs and weaves, including Brazilian or Malaysian hair and Indian Remy in various lengths and styles. An expression and 100% canicolon for all your braiding needs. Beauty Wise offers hair products from African Pride, Revlon, and hair clippers for men in quality brands like Wall and Andes. Come to Beauty Wise for your intimates, hosiery, personal hygiene, and salon products, and a wide array of accessories in gold and silver. Beauty Wise, the wise one-stop shop for beauty supplies.
Calling all budding fashion designers. It's your chance to win $1,000 in cash in the first ever Courts Fashionista competition. All you have to do is design a piece of clothing inspired by one of our fashionable pieces of furniture for your chance to win big. Selected participant will take part in the biggest fashion show to showcase their designs. Furniture selection must be made from our new furniture brochure. So pick one up at a store near you today. Courts Fashionista Fashion Competition. Sign up if you dare. Courts, bringing value home.
Thank you for staying with us. Sports also featured as part of discussions during Thursday's town hall meeting in Maho. The indoor sports facility at Stock Farm was a project of focus. Mr. Skerrit said a friendly government had agreed to finance the project to the tune of $500,000 and work would begin this financial year. He also encouraged Dominicans to make use of these facilities, considering the level of investment being made to upgrade them.
We heard from them this week, and they have indicated to us that certainly in this financial year, we will commence the construction of the indoor sports facility. But in addition to that, we will embark on the lighting of several playing fields across the country, all in an effort to ensure that our citizens can have more access to playing facilities for their own health. Because sometimes people ask us for lights in a playing field and they don't make use of it during the day. And when you put the lights, they don't make use of it. And so you have an investment made that people are not taking advantage of. So our hope is that when we spend these monies investing in the communities, that our people make proper use of it and so forth. Because what we do is for you, not for us. It's for you to benefit from.
And government, through the Ministry of Trade, is looking to make sure that consumers benefit from concessions granted to the business community. Responding to questions on price control at Thursday's meeting in Maho, Prime Minister Skerrit said even in cases where duty-free concessions are provided in the budget, businesses do not pass on these savings to the consumer. The issue of price control is one which concerns consumers in and outside of Dominica.
Sometimes we in the government, for the budget, we remove certain duties on certain items. But we do not see that translated to a savings or a reduction in the price. So we in fact looking at this, not only in Dominica, but it's a CARICOM-wide initiative. Because this is a matter which consumers are raising throughout the Caribbean community, CARICOM, that we need to have a greater oversight of the prices set for certain goods and services in our region. Because if we do not look at it critically and objectively, many of us will not be able to afford to buy some of the items on the shelf.
In other news now, the Dominica Bar Association has congratulated Wynant Adrian Roberts on her appointment as a High Court judge of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court. The Dominica Bar Association has released a statement saying this latest appointment demonstrates Mrs. Adrian Roberts' continued commitment to public service. Roberts began her legal career when she was called to the bar in 1994.
She is an honors graduate of the University of the West Indies and attained professional qualifications at the Norman Manley Law School in Jamaica, where she was awarded the coveted award of Most Outstanding Second-Year Student. Thereafter, Mrs. Adrian Roberts pursued a course of study leading to a Master of Laws degrees in International Comparative Law with a concentration on International Trade Law at the prestigious George Washington University Law School in Washington, D.C.
Prior to this appointment, Mrs. Roberts served as Solicitor General in 2012, opened her private practice, Pinnacle Law Chambers, and assumed the office of Deputy Attorney General of Turks and Caicos Islands. Finally, the 11-year-old Rabbit Fest has evolved into an economic activity which plays a key role in helping Cochrane parents meet back-to-school expenses. Coordinator Jeffers Parillon says that's just one of the benefits. The economic impact of the festival is spreading far beyond Cochrane, as most of the meat is purchased outside the village.
In the past, we have produced a lot more meat towards the festival. Let me just give you an idea. This festival, we did almost 2,000 pounds. And I would say maybe only 300 to 400 pounds, close to 5, came from the village itself. So a lot of the meat is being purchased around the island, which is good and a bad thing.
Speed of economic benefits for
yes,
the people?
for the people. I mean, the thing is, the festival is a national activity, and it's good that the money can spread island-wide. Yes. But seeing that the idea and the brainchild and all the work comes from the village of Cochrane, we would expect that the Cochrane people would grab onto it a lot more than they do now.
Do they have an issue with it? Do the people have an issue with that?
No,
the fact
I think
that so much of it comes from outside.
No,
really.
the main issue is the raw materials for in terms of rabbit feed. That's the most difficult issue.
Cost-wise?
Cost, yes, cost in terms of taking care of the rabbits. Okay. That is one. I mean, you can subsidize with grass, but you don't get the full size that you like. And a lot of the rabbits, they gravitate more to the feed.
I asked Parilo whether he thought the demand for rabbit meat had increased over the years.
Yes, and that was clear. That was clear on Sunday, where we had almost, let's say, I would say close to 3,500 people come to the festival. We had more numbers last year. We know that amount of people showed up even if we had rain. It did rain, just that there was no mud. The ground, we cut off the ground from since Thursday, so vehicles were not able to drive on the field. But all in all, the festival itself was a huge success.
And that's news. Overseas-based athletes call for state-of-the-art facilities in Dominica. Your sports highlights next. The Aussies tried to get back in the game on day 2 after an alarming and destructive start to the 4th Ashes Test at Trench Bridge. However, not much could be done to rise to a convincing score in reply to England's first innings lead of 331. Bowled out for a record 60 runs on day 1, Australia hobbled to a 241 for 7 on day 2. England may very well walk away with the series in the bag after this game if Australia fails to put up a solid score. Day 3 will bowl off with Australia still lagging behind by 90 runs and 3 wickets in hand. Detroit Blazers will make their case to defend their Premier Division title when playoff action tips off Friday night. Prowlers and Blazers are playing to a repeat of the end of last year's session. Will the results stay the same? Jeff Jeremy, I should say, is the Blazers captain, a man with years of experience. He says he expects a good challenge from their opponents.
My experience and how many times, maybe 19 times in the playoffs right now. So it's just like, for me, no hard feelings there. If I ever team I did free love last year, and I'm going to the final expecting a good thing, because they would never like us to give them free love, you know, two years consecutively. But I expect a good game, and my players is ready. And we're going to the final, no hard feelings, just coming up to win tonight, and that's all.
And action continues this weekend in the Fast Cash Harlem Football League with some semi-final kickoffs. League leaders Rosalie Bay Resort Charlotte Villas will look to keep up their winning ways and take on Icons in Saturday's first semi-final at 6 p.m. Aeropost Dutch United will battle Joshua Francis Youngstars in the second semi-final. And overseas-based athletes are adding their voice to the call for state-of-the-art training facilities in Dominica. Long jumper David Regis and high and triple jumper Thea Lafont both feel that Dominican athletes are being shortchanged without having places to train at higher standards.
Facilities are absolutely everything.
me going Dominica and having done training in Dominica, it is near impossible to reach the level that we are at here today, living and training in Dominica with the current facilities. Me going there, I've trained on the Savannah and, done my running and jumping drills there, but you have to have a lot more than that to reach the level where you can compete with and against the best people in the world. Without facilities, without the equipment that it takes to do all the drills and do the training and get the strength, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Even if you are blessed with talent, it's not going to happen.
Fourth year, an athlete's surroundings is all that matters.
I really believe that your environment is everything. So having a place to train, coaches that are knowledgeable, and an athlete that's willing to work is very, very imperative to succeeding in your sport. I know for sure that if it were not for my facilities, my access to a track almost 24/7 and a weight room almost 24/7, I don't know if I would be where I am today.
Sports officials announced this week that the long-awaited state-of-the-art indoor facility will be erected well before 2019 in time to host the Winard Island School Games again. And Dominica's athletes haven't had the best results at the Senior North American, Central American, Caribbean Championships in Costa Rica. Sprinter Mitchell Davis got the guns blazing for Dominica in men's 100 meters, but the fire at his heels was no match for the rest of the field. Davis placed 6th in his preliminary heat and 21 overall with a time of 10.58. Thea Lafont came 6th in women's triple jump final Friday morning with a leap of 13.60 meters. Coming up, we'll take a look at your weekend weather.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. I will be your presenter for this evening, Farah Rockera. Let's take a look now at some earlier satellite imagery. And the convection that we expected today moved northwards away from the Lesser Antilles. Meanwhile, some low-level clouds continue to move across the island, resulting in mostly cloudy skies today. Let's take a look now at some earlier radar imagery, and what it indicated was scattered showers throughout the Lesser Antilles. The weather tonight is expected to be partly cloudy to cloudy with a few scattered showers, and similar conditions are expected tomorrow. The marine conditions, moderate sea conditions expected tomorrow with waves up to 7 feet. What can we expect for the next 3 days? Tomorrow, Saturday, partly cloudy to cloudy with some scattered showers. A reduction in moisture is expected by Sunday, resulting in fairly partly cloudy skies with a few scattered showers. An increase in cloudiness and showers is expected, however, by Monday. Weak unstable conditions is expected to produce some occasional cloudiness and scattered showers across the islands tomorrow. The international city forecast, some partly cloudy skies expected in New York, some thunderstorm activity in Miami and Caracas, and some beautiful sunny conditions expected in London and Beijing. Sunrise tomorrow will be at 5:49 a.m. and sunset at 6:33 p.m. For more information, you could always visit our website at weather.gov.dm or call the weather hotline at 447-5555. Join us next time for your next weather broadcast. Thank you.
The headlines. Prime Minister Skerrit takes his budget policies on the road, urging critics to assess his policies on their merits. The Parliamentary Opposition to hold a series of post-budget discussions around the country. And a regional meeting of trade unions pass a resolution concerning public works employees. Send your questions and comments to news@marpin2k4.com. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. Thanks for watching. Do have a good weekend.